These are the episodes that completely change a series, and for Attack on Titan, it has its fair amount, which goes to show the twists and turns and roller coaster that is the Attack on Titan experience. But to be in Pass, or as the Titan Realm, as many fresh to this experience are calling it, to see the memories that Zeke was trying so hard to save his baby brother, the brainwashed brother that he, because at a flick of a moment, he can unleash the euthanasia plan. He can sterilize all Eldians and it will be in the palm of his hand. He has no reason to rush because, unfortunately for Eren, Ymir follows those with royal blood. And it's interesting to see Zeke over the course of this episode, especially animated, and to see the cracking and the breaking of once a pretty proud brother thinking his frail little brother who was brainwashed by his father, following in his father's footsteps, doesn't know how caged in he is, as he slowly realizes that Eren follows Eren. Eren believes in his freedom, and anyone who tries to touch that freedom will be met with rage. But to see the moment that we were building up to in this episode, because we know Grisha, Eren's and Zeke's father, does kill a bunch of kids, takes the founding Titan for himself, but to see him resist it over the episode, it's one of those moments that really goes to show how crazy this story can become. And to watch Zeke realize that his father didn't unleash these horrible things because he was this piece of shit, that he legit changed, that he learned from the mistakes he made with Zeke and was doing everything in his power to not do it a second time. And had Eren not been there in the memory realm and, sharing with the memories of the Attack Titans from past to present, it's very possible Grisha would have never unleashed hell. And it's crazy to look at the difference of slavery in this show, because if you have royal blood and possess the founding Titan, you are a slave to the will of not basically going against and just saying that you will suffer and this and that. But as we learn in this episode, the Attack Titan has a little trait of its own, and that because this is something that's been hinted at throughout the course of the show, we're seeing memories. How are we seeing these memories? Why are we sharing memories with people who have been passed down? And to see that the Attack Titan, you share it with people who have it in the future or have had it in the past, and to see because they're in Ymir's realm there, the fact that they were interacting with these memories, the entire reason that Grisha did what he did was because Eren scared the shit out of him and forced his hand to do so. And to see the end of this episode with Grisha so happy to see Zeke, as we get hints throughout the episode, is he actually seeing him? Is it a dream? And to see him just embrace saying, "You're screwed, my boy. Whatever Eren wants, Eren's gonna have." And to see him say, "Please stop, Eren," as you have pretty much the most villainous shot ever. This is incredible. The Attack on Titan power structure and hierarchy and what can happen in the realm of Titans and this and that, it's fairly complex, but it has a very limited amount of rules that it really does follow through and through. And I like how rather than just dropping memories and interacting with memories randomly, the biggest moment that I think before this episode was without a doubt Historia's hand. When Eren was holding Historia's hand, I think he actually kissed it, and then he got all these weird memories, and then he pointed at the ocean saying, "If we kill all our enemies, will we be free?" But throughout this show, there's been these flashbacks, these memories being like, those can't be Eren's, and who the hell are these? Why are we seeing people who had the Attack Titan before Eren? And to see how it builds up to moments like these, as you just see Eren standing there, still chained up, but now Zeke on the ground, almost cowering at what could be happening there, after getting a loving embrace from a father who he despised with all his might, but cried tears of joy when he realized he was wrong, and the fact that it completely did a 180 on him. Here he was thinking he needed to save a brother from his father's will, when it turns out the father's will was Eren's will this entire time. When I originally read that, my mind was blown. But seeing it animated with that level of voice acting from Grisha, if there has to be a list of best vocal performances in Attack on Titan, don't get me wrong, that would be a very long list and it'd be hard to narrow down to a top 10. But moments like these with Grisha breaking down and you can feel the pain, you can feel the resistance, hard not to say that's some of the best, at the very least, some of the best we've seen in the final season, including both parts here. And yeah, this is incredible. The music, when it starts amplifying at the end and you really feel like you can't tell, are we a villain, are we a hero, are we in the middle, what's going on here? The fact that you can spend years going through memories and seeing things differently, and the fact that Eren, at one point, I think it's like right near the beginning, they're looking through the window, and the sarcasm from Eren, where basically Zeke's like, see, you were just being controlled, you're being warped, and he's like, of course, I see now, can we leave? It's something along that line there, and just the fact that Zeke's like, well, we have all the time in our world, let's not rush this, and I'm like, that sarcasm, it kind of stings, not gonna lie. But you love to see the interaction, and I think these are some of my favorite moments in any story, when you have just a handful of characters, 1, 2, maybe 3 characters, and they just sit around talking, whether we're in new locations, because honestly, there was a wide variety of locations, but for the most part, it was Eren and Zeke standing together and talking. But a good author, and especially a good studio with a good vision, can take said author's work and improve it to the point that you may not be seeing Warhammer Titans smashing Jaw Titans, but it's hard not to say it's just as exhilarating, if not more exhilarating, because these revelations are absolutely mind-blowing. But when you retrace the footsteps that led us to this moment, it all makes sense, and it was all foreshadowed. It's just, it got bigger than we could possibly imagine. And to see how we go from the start of this episode, Zeke just wanting to save his brother, to Eren literally telling him, I'm not a slave, I'm free to my own will, and to see those big moments like when he saved Mikasa's life and killed those bandits, and to see how horrified both Zeke and Grisha were. Just those moments are insane, but I think my absolute favorite point in this episode, and it was one of my favorite points when reading it, is when we have the key scene. Now the key scene's a very big one, right? Because back in season 1, we're watching it saying, oh, when he gets back, we'll see what's in the basement, and then of course, we don't get to see what's in the basement until like season 3. But to see that Grisha was never looking at young Eren or talking to young Eren in that scene. He was talking to Eren in past, going with what Eren needs to hear. And to see that Eren is just such a manipulator in that scene, it's crazy. It's absolutely mind-blowing. I've read this part in the manga countless times, but holy shit, this is what I like to see. And I cannot be happier with Sundays right now. Between this and Demon Slayer, with where they're at in their series, it's absolutely mind-blowing to be an anime fan seeing two very different studios give their all for quality that needs time and attention. And don't get me wrong, it is a shame that this very well could have been part 1 in terms of the attention to detail. I love part 1 of season 4, but part 2 is night and day, and holy shit, it makes me happy to see that they're not rushing through the chapters. In fact, they're still taking their time going chapter by chapter, and to see where they're probably going to leave off with this part as they either confirm a part 3, a very shorter part 3, or a movie, which probably is more than likely, it's going to be insane to see what they want to do here. This is my favorite story of all time. To see it both adapted like this and to read it and to see the quality of life changes they kind of made in order to make it flow better. Like as an example, the first scene when Grisha kind of responds to Zeke, right? And you know, it's pretty shocking. That's the end of a manga chapter, but to see how it just flows and you get all that together, I think works so well for an anime, and both experiences are fantastic, but it's hard not to remember how I felt with those cliffhangers scratching my head, to see how they drop cliffhangers in the anime and how they're equally impactful, just different for a different medium. I am one of the biggest Attack on Titan fanboys, but goddamn, I feel like episodes like these prove why it's a good thing to be a fanboy for Attack on Titan. Thoughts and feelings if you have any. Definitely very excited to see feelings from people who are brand new to this part of the story, because this is the time to be an Attack on Titan fan, and hopefully you're avoiding those spoilers left and right, because I expect, like with last week, the thumbnails and titles are not going to be pretty for most channels, but do your best to stay safe out there. Let me know what you're feeling down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you're new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.